Claude Code writes code so you don't have to. This is CalAI, a $12 million app, and we're rebuilding it from scratch with AI. Don't let the word code scare you. I haven't written code in months. You just describe what you want and Claude builds it for you. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up Claude Code and build a working calorie app from zero. No experience needed. Alright, let's get into it. So you're probably wondering, $12 million. Is it revenue? Is it evaluation? What does it even mean? Let me show you what the founder of CalAI said a few days ago.
And we're going to do close to $5 million in revenue this month.
$5 million a month in revenue. And we can rebuild this app from scratch in under 20 minutes with Claude Code. We will first start with a short demo where I show how easy it is to create such an app that can analyze how many calories are inside the dish by just analyzing a photo. And by the end of the video, I will show you step by step how to install Claude Code on your own machine. It's very easy. And make sure to watch until the end, where I compare Claude Code and Lovable side by side. First, we open Terminal. If you've never done this before, don't worry. Just open the Finder, click on Application, go to Utilities, and open Terminal. Now you type in Claude and hit Enter. You confirm that you trust this folder, and then I just tell Claude what I want to build. Build me a calorie tracking app. And hit Enter. That's it. Now Claude Code will build the whole app from me. We just need to wait a little. Claude will ask you multiple times if you confirm. You can most of the time click yes. And if you don't want to press enter all the time, you can also click Shift Tab. And now we activated the accept edits on. We accept all edits that Claude recommends us. Alright, after around 2 minutes, Claude Code finished. And now it tells us to open this in the browser. And when we open up this in the browser, we see this beautiful app. It's simple, but let's try it out if it works. For that, let's provide a Big Mac and click Analyze Meal. It seems to analyze now the picture, and it gave us the perfect calories here, with a breakdown how many proteins, carbs, and fats are here inside. You're probably wondering, how does it even work? We didn't provide any API keys. The question is, how did Claude Code figure out all this by its own? The answer is pretty easy. Claude Code used this N8N workflow to use ChatGPT in the background, with a system prompt to analyze images. In case you're new and don't know what N8N is, it's a no-code tool that helps you to build AI agents. You simply sign in here, then you see the dashboard here, and you can create workflows or open existing ones like this one. So it's pretty simple because everything is drag and drop and it has a visual representation. Let me quickly explain why using N8N with Claude Code together is such a game changer, because everything what you create here in Claude Code is actually real code that you can find here in this folder. And for beginners, it's pretty hard to understand because here are many files and you need to know what they mean. I mean, of course, you could ask Claude what they mean and he would explain it to you. But he will explain everything in words, and it's much harder to understand what's going on in the background. But if you have a visual representation like with N8N here, for example, the workflow starts here with the webhook. When you double click on it, you see that you received here the Big Mac. The next thing what's happening is, then this image is passed to an AI nutrition agent. That is powered by this system prompt here, and the AI agent gives us, as a result, the breakdown of the food here. This result is then sent back to our app we created with Claude Code. Now you're probably wondering, how did Claude Code decide to use N8N? How did he log in into my N8N account and made this all work? The trick is pretty simple. It's this file here. It's called Claude.md. It stands for Markdown file. When I open this file, you will see really detailed instructions how Claude Code should create the app. It has the request format, it has the response format, and so on and so on. And here's the trick. When you open Claude Code, the Claude.md file is automatically loaded inside Claude Code. That means Claude Code has access to all this thing and the instructions you give him. So if I would delete this whole folder here and instruct Claude to create this whole app here again, he will be able to create it one by one. By the way, I also provide these instructions in the description box below, so you can try it yourself. And now I will show you how I created this MD file. First we open Claude in a new folder. In this case, this one. We say we trust this folder, and now we can instruct Claude to create us an MD file. But I don't want to explain too much. That's why I went to this YouTube channel and found a tutorial where this app is rebuilt. We will build a $12 million. Then I told Claude the following. Create for me a Claude.md file. To create this Claude.md file, I will provide you a transcript of a video and the provided instructions from this video. Based on that, I want you to create an MD file. Now Claude asks for the video transcript and the instructions. For that, I click here More, click here Show Transcript, and click here Copy Transcript. Then I just paste it here and give it to Claude. And also the provided instructions here. I simply press Command A, Command C, and paste everything to Claude and click enter. Now Claude creates us an MD file based on the provided information. I will now press Shift Tab to accept all edits. Now Claude Code finished, and like you can see, here's the Claude.md file that you can open. And here's everything exactly explained. For example, user uploads an image of their meal. Image is sent to NLN via webhook, and so on and so on. And since the NLN workflow was also provided in this video, I could simply download this workflow, go to NLN, click Create Workflow, click here Import from File, and have the complete workflow ready here. Then I clicked here Publish, went to the webhook, and copy and pasted the production URL here. And also provided to Claude. Hey Claude, I will also now provide you the NLN webhook URL for the production. And I will now instruct it to update the MD file. Update the MD file for that. Perfect, now we have everything ready so Claude Code can create this app. If I tell now Claude Code to create the app, he will create this whole app. And now you're probably wondering why to use NLN if Claude could do it all by himself. The first reason is, like I told you already, the visual representation that you can see. Second, NLN has on their website tons of templates. They have over 7,800 workflows right now. And these workflows are tested and are working. The downside when you use Claude Code directly, it can still hallucinate and you need to debug and fix all the errors. If you're using something that is already tested and working, it's much easier to set everything up and get it up and running. Alright, now let's compare Claude Code, what is here on the left, with Lovable, what is here on the right. I created the exact same project here in Lovable, like you can see, and in Claude Code. The main difference what you will notice is what Claude created is locally hosted. That means if I would send this to a friend or a client, they won't be able to open it. Because for that, they would need to use a service like Vercel. But before they could use this service like Vercel, they need first to create a GitHub account and push the project there. Compared to, you simply click here Publish, and then you receive directly an URL that you can open in your browser and can send to anybody. And since we use NLN in the background, this whole thing is already up and running, while this one needs much more steps. Additionally, I have to say that Lovable makes much better design than Claude Code, even though I tried to use Claude skills, especially for web design. But it was not as good as Lovable, I would say. So for quick prototyping, I recommend to use Lovable, while for more complicated and sophisticated apps, I prefer to use Claude Code, but needs more setup and knowledge to use compared to managed services like Lovable. And now in the next step, I will show you how to install Claude Code from scratch. Let's get it installed. Alright, first thing, I've put 3 instructions in the description box below. Open those up to follow along. Now we need something called Terminal. I know it sounds technical, but here's what you need to understand. Terminal is just an app. That's it. Once Claude Code is running inside the terminal, you're just typing in plain English, like ChatGPT or like texting to a friend. The only difference is, because it runs in the terminal, Claude Code can actually do things on your computer. Create files, edit code, build entire apps. That's the magic. Alright, let's open it. First go to Finder, then open the Applications folder. Then you open the Utilities folder and double click on Terminal. Now you are in. Now grab the install command from the description and paste it here. Hit enter and wait a few seconds. Once it's done, select any visual mode you like. Now, if you type in Claude in your terminal, it won't work yet. You need to copy and paste the command shown in the terminal. This tells your computer where to find Claude. Done. Now type in Claude and hit enter. A browser pops up where you need to log in with your Claude Code account. For this you need a subscription. And that's it. You just successfully installed Claude Code. You see, it was pretty easy.